What is your name and where are you from?
My name is James, and I'm from the Central Coast, San Luis Obispo.
All right. How did you originally hear about our website?
Well, I saw a PBS show about piano, and I wanted to teach myself piano, and I went to the web and I looked for piano videos and found them. Found
All
you.
right. All right. So YouTube, that's like everybody else.
Right.
What makes my method? Well, no, I'm sorry. What did you like most about learning from my method?
The ease, first off, the ease, and you have a very approachable personality, very
Thank you.
friendly, and basically that. I love the whiteboard method. I'd never seen that in other. I went through quite a bit of instructional videos. Yours were always the easiest for me to follow. A lot of times I could take a screenshot of
Yeah.
what you were doing, and then of
Good.
course, I have
Sure.
3 or 4 tiles on my computer screen,
Yeah.
my piano right
Uh-huh.
there, just play right along. So, yeah.
Excellent. All right. What makes my method different from other online piano lessons?
Um, the note for note transcriptions
Okay.
generally.
Okay.
Um, I love that. And of course, the ease of use, the left hand, right hand, all the information contained within the whiteboard itself.
Mhm.
I mean, it takes the place of music, but it's a lot easier because, you don't have to pay attention to like incrementals or sharps or flats or, signs. I mean,
Yeah.
you point them out, but you can just get what's being played by your hands just by looking at it.
Yeah. Some people have described it as they bypass the hurdle. They go around the mountain of having to recite, and get to the music, kind of bypass.
And you don't have to
Uh,
knock the hurdle over.
yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with my lessons?
Of course, 10. If we could go
Thank you.
higher, do it higher.
Thank you very much. I feel like I could do the website better. I want to make the website more user friendly,
Yeah.
and I'd like to get something like arrange it according to date released, so you guys can click something and see the order, of all the new stuff immediately. So that's one of the things I want to do, but I'm still working on that. Would you recommend a family member or friend to my lessons, and if so, why?
I would, I have, I will, because of, like I say, I'm just repeating some of the same information
Sure,
is the
that's okay.
use, your friendliness, and it's ease of access is what I'd say, actually. I mean, everybody has access to the web now, and it's
Right,
all right there. I'm
right.
not so much the lesson part, like the blues lessons and scale runs. I watch them because I play blues on guitar, so I
Yeah,
know the theory and I can translate it to
sure.
people anyway. But yeah.
Sure. Well, James, do you have any questions for me or anything I can do for you today?
No, other than think about coming out with some throwback, vintage, Back to the Future type, old style video. This is the way I used to do it.
Yeah.
I love the production values you have now, the multicams, and
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's like you've got professionals in there. You cleaned,
I
but
did have a
you missed
professional
that
set it
whole
up.
slice of that
Yeah.
slice there. But other than that, I wouldn't change anything. You're doing great, I think.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much. I appreciate that. And I know you did some hard requests. What was the one you liked the most that you ever did that you're most happy with?
Well, and I'm working on it. Is the one
Okay.
I requested.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's what I mean. That's what I meant when you did.
oh, what about it? What are you asking
Or
me,
can you
people?
remind me the name of it? Because I have you know,
Um,
so many.
Special, very special song by Charlie Rich.
Oh, yes, yes. Very good. All right. So
Yeah.
working on that.
And with
Well,
that lengthy kind of solo at the end.
what kind of keyboard do you play on? Do you practice on?
Uh, it's a
Oh,
Casio tone.
Casio. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
coming out?
The Casios have gotten, people like to say, oh, Casio keyboard, but they've really have given people the lower price, and it's still very good technology. The piano sounds on them have already been spectacular, I've always thought. So I love Casio for, you could put them side by side with another really, really expensive keyboard, and the piano sound is gonna you won't be able to tell
Yeah.
the difference sometimes because the technology is so good. So you don't need to spend $4,000 on a keyboard.
No, and all you need is, I mean, I forget what this is. What is it? 54, 52, 55? How many keys?
Yeah,
It's in
it'll
that
be
range.
61. Yeah, usually 61 is what they are.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and all the bells and whistles. I never even use them. I'll
No,
have about
no.
7 sounds that I like. The Rhodes keyboard, and the Hammond B3 and the standards.
Right.
Beyond that, I don't need 1,000 sounds. No one's ever going to use those.
Exactly. I have a Yamaha P90 with 10 different sounds, like
Yeah,
electric piano, uh, uh, strings, blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
organ, and only ever use the piano setting, the grand piano, because
sure,
it just
right.
sounds cool. Yeah.
No, yeah, you don't need to spend a
But
lot of money on it for sure. Well, James, thank you so much.
did
Zoom's
you?
going to cut me off here, huh?
Oh, okay. Can I just ask one real quick
Oh,
question?
go ahead. Yeah,
Did you
we
get
have a
enough
couple
from me?
minutes. My son just
Okay.
showed me how much time I have. We have more than I thought. Go ahead.
Do you did you get enough from me? Did I put it in a good format for you? Because I was winging
I
it. I don't
think
have
you
no. I have
did.
a few
No,
notes written.
you did fine.
Yeah.
No, this is great. I mean, because what we want are stories, from
Yeah.
people, because there's nothing more powerful than that. And then you've
Okay.
answered several times. We're going to have our videographers go in and they pull out different parts and edit it a little bit
Right.
if need be. But I
Okay.
thought it was great. I thought it went fine. The hard thing is when people just have one word answers and okay,
You got a
say
prompt.
something
Yeah.
more. Oh,
Um,
I was going to ask you if you would at the end of this, and you can say what you're going to say in a minute. But I'll send you a. Have you done the Google review yet for me?
yeah, I did. I
Okay,
wrote the.
great. Thank you for doing that. That's going to really help me out. So, because apparently Google owns everything on the internet now, and you have to satisfy the Google gods, and that's one way you do it is by getting reviews on there. Go ahead. You were going to
Yeah.
say something.
I was just gonna say, it's been fantastic meeting you. It's like meeting John Lennon. John Lennon of the piano
Oh,
instruction
thank you.
world.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
Well,
Believe me.
I'm gonna be a little feeling that way myself with because one of my clients, you may not know this, is John Cena, and we've been friends for a long time. He hires me to do stuff all the time, and I'm about to ask him to do one of these Zoom calls, and I think he'll do it unless it's something he doesn't want to do for his career.
A
But
piano player?
huh?
Piano player?
Yeah, John Cena. He's the wrestling guy, the actor, and
I'll have to look him up. I'm not
yeah, look
familiar
him up.
right off.
If you have any kids or grandkids, they'll definitely know who he is. But
Oh,
he's
okay.
yeah, and then another guy I'm going to have on is he wrote the screenplay for Braveheart,
Oh, is that
and
right?
yeah, so the incredible members that I have, and another one you're not going to believe this, Niels Lofgren or Niels something, but he's the guitar player for Bruce Springsteen. He's also a member.
Oh, him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nils Lofgren?
Yes, that's it.
No.
Yeah. So
Really?
he likes to play all Roy Bittan stuff that because he doesn't want to learn the sheet music, but he likes that I get it exactly right. So he's on there
Yeah.
learning all that stuff. So he's
All
fun to
right.
talk to as well.
I look forward to see. When are you hoping to finish the project?
Well,
Is-
right now they call it our business coaches call it a rush to revenue, which means we're working our tails off renaming all the YouTube videos, getting testimonials up, doing Google reviews, just 8, 12 hours a day sometimes. But as soon as I get enough up there that gets us up in the search engine, then I'm still going to have to do all this stuff, but it'll be more, less. It won't be so much at one time.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we were, I want to give it a shot. I feel like a lot of these piano lesson websites, they make a lot of money, and I feel like I watch their lessons. I think mine are as good as those, so I want to give it a shot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was great to talk to you, man.
Thank you, James.
meet you.
Hey, contact me anytime. Now that I have your face in my mind, I won't forget your face. And if you ever get stuck on anything or want well, you probably will figure it out yourself. But anything at all, if you're ever in Waco, look me up. We'll have a cup of coffee. Maybe come jam
Waco, I
over here
was
at my
trying to
studio.
remember.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to remember what city you were from. I was thinking
Waco,
Corpus Christi. No, Waco.
Yes.
If I'm ever down there, I'll definitely look you up.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah. I
to the
got
cafe,
keyboards,
you
guitars,
know.
and drums and everything. We'll jam a little bit or something. But that would be awesome. Thank you, James. I
Fantastic.
appreciate it.
It was great. We'll see you later.
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Okay. I can see you, but I can't hear you. Maybe it's a mute thing. Is it muted, Evan? No, I mean, is his muted? Can you tell? Okay. It doesn't look like you're muted. Oh, it's connecting now.
Okay, you can hear me now?
I can hear you now. Great. Sounds great.
We're in
Right.
the night.
So it's so good to meet you.
Okay, good
Thank
to
you for doing.
meet you.
Now I have your email address, but it never shows your name. Is it James?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I remember you putting that thing in one time, but it always says something else on the email. But nice to meet you,
Well,
James. Thank you for
I
doing
go
this.
by James Travis Aligo is my official,
Okay.
but I go by James on the web, you know.
Well, James, thank you so much for doing this. We'll just talk for a little bit, and then at the end, I have these questions I need to ask you for our videographers for because I'm trying to work on the business side of my business for
Right.
after 17 18 years I have never done that, so they're like, you could make a lot more money if you actually put some time into this. So we're going to do
Yeah.
some testimonials, and I just remember seeing your email address so many times through the years. How long have you been with me, by the way?
Uh, I discovered you were you doing this in 2005, 6?
2007 is when I started.
2000, I've been there from the beginning.
From the
I re,
beginning. Oh, mark this one, Evan. This is one of the ones we really need. Yeah, several guys have been. You're the oldest so far as longtime members. So 2007, because YouTube
well,
didn't start till 2005.
I didn't start, I wasn't a member right away. I started seeing your videos on YouTube,
Yeah,
the old school,
yeah,
you know, vintage where you look back and, hey, I'm
yeah,
cheap. And I suggest you maybe once or twice a year revert back and
yeah.
do a tutorial in the old style.
The
I
old
love
style.
it. I kind of
That
miss
would
it.
be fun, actually. Yeah. Yeah, that would be neat. But I had the old VHS can with the little one. We thought we were so high tech with the little VHS cassettes, and you'd have to make it couldn't be over 100 megabytes to upload it to YouTube, and it couldn't be longer than like 3 minutes or something. So
Right.
it was a struggle to work on there. But it was I really actually liked YouTube much more back then than I do now
Yeah.
as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's great. So you saw my lessons way back when I first started, and how long did it take till you checked out the website and
It took actually a few years.
okay,
And then I joined and because, getting the first parts of songs, it was easy to download at the time. So I got a folder of all your old, like the free videos that you have.
yeah, right, yeah,
And then when I needed to move on, of course, I joined the website to get parts 2 and 3 and
uh-huh,
whatnot. So, I mean, I've joined and then I've left, I've
uh-huh.
joined, come back.
Just whenever you need it.
Yeah.
Wow. So, but it's neat that you were there from the very beginning, from 2007, because life
Yeah.
was totally different back then. For me, at least it was. Wow. So, what was your upbringing in music? Did you take traditional piano lessons? Were you a guitar player? What was your experience growing up? What were you listening to?
Fourth grade, trumpet through junior year in high school, I was played trumpet in
Okay.
concert and
So
whatnot.
did
When I
I.
got to high school, I did marching band for a couple of
Yeah,
years.
me too.
And then that fateful day when I discovered guitar.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Just as an aside, where do I look? Do I look right at my camera? Is that the best thing, or
You,
should I be looking at you on the screen?
if you're looking at your camera, that's probably it'll look like you're looking at me, but that's okay. It looks
Okay.
fine either way. It's really going to be fine.
Okay. So I discovered guitar when I was in my teens. I just
Uh-huh.
turned 60. And from there, I just went kaboom, got into garage bands, played at bars, played at
Oh wow.
clubs, events, got to as high as the Mid-State Fair in my
Oh
city.
wow.
And yeah, I was quite the guitar god. But, I mean, never going beyond that. I had a day job and I'm retired now.
Uh-huh.
But music's always been a part about, well, like around 2007, 8, I started wanting to learn guitar. I mean, piano.
Yeah.
And I kind of put the cart before the horse, and I went out and I just bought a digital piano.
Okay.
I bought a Yamaha P90
All right. Good
with
board.
the express consideration that I was going to teach myself piano. And it actually, I had it for about a year. I just plunked around on it. I was watching PBS one day, and there's another piano player prominent in the community named Scott Houston. He had a
Right.
show on
Yes.
PBS. And I
Scott.
got the book, and I was amazed at how the whole teaching the chords,
Yeah.
it was just, I didn't realize how easy it was to pick up piano. I thought it was a lot more complicated. When I did that, that's when I went to the web, started looking for lessons, and I saw your distinctive whiteboard,
Sure.
thumbnail icons, and I was like, this is the guy,
Great.
And God, you taught me so much in the beginning and especially the Elton John. I didn't realize how
Yes.
easy it was to get started on Elton John songs. It's amazing.
You
Blew
know
me
what?
away.
I'm kind of impressed, James, that, well, a lot of my people that I'm talking to, I'm finding out a lot of things about you guys. I should have done this years ago. But a lot of you guys play guitar also. Either you played it first or you play it in addition. And a lot of you gig or have gigged or have played in front of people, like a lot. So I'm wondering because a lot of people just stay at home and play. So what is the difference here? Why do I have so many guitar players? Why do I have so many gigging musicians that are on the site? Because I didn't know that. Why do you think that is?
For me, piano has always been a mystery. As deep as I got into playing guitar, and mostly rock, but as deep as and acoustic, I always had a fascination because piano was always over there. If
Mhm.
we ever, I mean, there were only a few times where we had an actual keyboard player.
Yeah.
And I was always mystified by the piano keyboard and how do they know where to play? How do they remember in relation to what I was doing? This
Yeah.
seemed a lot easier than
Hmm.
this.
Right.
So once I saw the videos and started teaching myself, I realized C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, that 8 octave range
Yeah.
chords,
Yeah.
and then support in the left hand. And that's how I saw it. Oh, that's how it relates to guitar.
Right.
So it opened up Pandora's box. And I'd always had, I think with guitar players, there's the symbiosis of playing with a piano, with a keyboard.
Okay.
Like Beck did some solo spots with a keyboard in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Page had some similar stuff. And there was always that. I always wanted a keyboard to play that stuff and me
Yeah.
doing solos.
Uh-huh.
And now here I'm the guy and I'm learning this stuff. And I think maybe that was part of it for me. Anyway, I don't
Uh-huh.
know if it's true for all the other guitar players and whatnot.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me. My son is also a guitar player. He's very, very good. He's turning 19. He's decided to kind of be an apprentice here. So he's been working on the business with me and everything, but he plays, he's only been playing 2 years. He plays
Yeah.
anything Eddie Van Halen can do or Stevie Ray Vaughan. Those are his two favorites. He's just, amazing. He's better on guitar than I was on piano at his age. And so we're going to start doing some gigging together around here in Waco. So we're looking forward to doing that, to kind of taking some videos and putting those on the website. And since all of you gig, I mean, letting other people put their videos up and kind of make it maybe a community of, that
Have
kind of
you
thing.
been gigging throughout your
Yeah,
website?
I have never anything real
You've never
steady,
posted,
but
you've
I've
never,
done it a lot. Yeah, I've played at so many weddings, so many,
ah,
yeah, different things people ask me to play at, and I have done it, but never on a regular basis, never where I do it every week. But that's what I'm going to start doing with my son here because he's really wanting to do it. He loves it, and then he figured out you can actually make some money from tips at it. So that's another thing he wants to do
yeah.
it for.
Hey.
But
Yeah.
anyway, so whenever I wanted to ask you this: can you read traditional music if you had to, or is that not something you've ever done?
No, I did it for when I learned trumpet.
Okay,
And
all right, that's right, treble clef, but
initially,
never piano music where there's, you know.
no.
Okay,
I went as far as guitar. I delved into class. I had a classical short list years
okay,
ago. I've forgotten all but a few. But then because I wanted to learn certain parts, I had to go to guitar music. So I just, put teeth
yeah,
and gritted through it and learned
yeah,
sight.
uh-huh,
Take the music away, I couldn't play it. Put the music in front of me, I could read and play. Piano, no, I've never tried, and I don't think I want
okay.
to jump into
That's
that.
okay. See that
Yeah.
because part of my thing is part of the reason I started this way back is I had my own students, And I had some of the most talented ones, the best ears, they couldn't read. And the better they were with their ear, the worse they were at reading music because they kind of work against each other, I think. And I
Yeah,
needed something for those students. One, I needed to keep, the
sure.
paying
Yeah,
bills, and the other thing is I didn't want them to quit. And I
yeah,
was like, well, what do you want to play? Because I knew they were going to quit anyway. I said, what do you want to play? They're like, I want to play this on the radio. So I listened to it, figured out, write it down in a way that they could understand it, and that's where the whiteboard method was born. And all of a
yeah,
sudden, I can't keep up with how many songs they're playing. And so from the very beginning on YouTube, I thought, what? There's always going to be people out there teaching how to read music and all this. I want to go for all those people who can't, who are not
yeah.
going to play any other way anyway. So they might as well try this and
Right.
never play rather than never play at all. And that's
It's
kind of
tried.
how it took off. And so when you see the whiteboard, does that help you? Was there a learning curve there? Did it immediately click for you?
No, it immediately clicked because I've been reading tablature on guitar for years. So I knew the concept behind the visual representation and the placement of the fingers. Well, not finger direction, but
Yeah,
it was there right in front of me.
yeah.
I
What
got
I'm
my piano right in front of me.
You
Ah,
guys are you guitar guys. I'm finding you're more theory advanced than the
uh,
piano people are in general. You really are, and it's kind of boggling to me because on the piano it's laid out so easy to see it. How can you miss it? But
yeah.
for some reason you guitar guys think that certain way, and so the piano makes sense to you immediately when I start talking about chords. When I will get someone who just plays piano, sometimes it takes them a while to make the connection. Maybe they can sight read anything. Then I say, okay, what chord are you playing here? They have no idea, And
It struck me like a thunderbolt out of the blue when I listened to a interview with Paul McCartney.
uh-huh.
And this was like when I was first starting out.
Yeah.
He said that he wasn't a great technical piano player. He wasn't
Right.
really that great at all. He said I just do this.
Yeah.
And that exactly encapsulate what happens on guitar. You're basically strumming
Yes,
the piano.
you
You
are.
know that, and I don't know why I know a few classical players, they can't play pop music songs because
No,
they
they can't
taught the
do it.
chords. And to me, that's the whole key of piano,
Yeah.
simplifying anyway.
Yeah,
And
and they kind of look down on us who, like
yeah,
the rock and stuff. They shouldn't, but they do. Some
yeah,
of the stuff, Hendrix did and others is far beyond, or at least matches some of anything that a classical musician has ever done to me. But they can't do what we do. Like
yeah.
they can be good at reading any type of classical music, but they couldn't sit down and vamp and play a chord. If you gave them a chord sheet, they wouldn't be able to do it. And you think, how can
I
you be
have,
to this high level and not have this? And so please don't look down on us if you can't do what we do. you know?
before I learned to play piano, I had a close friend played organ at his church. He was great he could play Turkish March on piano.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you going to hit it?
I might. Go ahead. Go ahead with your story.
So he's playing, we're watching a band in somebody's backyard party.
How to do that?
Yeah. And I said it was a rock song, and the piano was kind of prominent, but they weren't playing anything spectacular, just backing chords. I said, wow. And he was amazed. And I said, can you play that? And he goes, I can't play that. And it was just chords being
Yeah.
supported by the left hand. And I was like, why? All I could think anyway. So
Yeah. So so the tablature clicks for you right away, and then you start to play. What are some of the songs you're playing? What is your favorite things to play on the website? What type of music? What
uh,
artist?
you know what? Another secret maybe is part of the clue. Guitar players, we all secretly love the Carpenters. Okay.
Okay.
That album. That was one of my draws. I went right to your
Yeah.
Carpenter songs,
Yeah.
and you had a few, I think, Close to You, We've Only Begun.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned them, those right off. Whatever you had, I can't remember the first few songs. I think those were the first few songs you had.
Yeah.
And so I go for easy. I like ballads. I
Me
like
too.
ballads with piano accompaniment and voice.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's a lot of synthesia piano
Yeah.
lessons. and they play the melody on the right
Right, right.
hand and not really the accompaniment. And
No.
the way that you follow the record, whatever was recorded, the recorded piano,
Yes. I was
what I
going to get to that. Yeah. So I need to give people always, they say, well, the library is so great. You have all these unique things that aren't anywhere else. And you have these versions that aren't anywhere else. How are you? Then I always have to say, well, it's the members because I didn't choose anything. You guys through the hired request list, it supported me to pay bills, but it's also given me the great variety of stuff that's on the site because already if someone's going to pay for something, they've already looked and tried to find it somewhere else. Can't find it the way they want it, so they hire me to do it. So it's on the site. So everything on webpianoteacher.com is a unique version, first of all, that someone couldn't find anywhere else. And it's so varied. There's so many different types of music. If I were just choosing it, I would be skewed. And a lot of things I think, I don't know if I like that. And then I end up liking it, so I just did, someone for somebody going down by Jeff Beck, and right on. I kind of heard that song my whole life and I never have really listened. I thought, well, maybe now it's one of my favorite songs after getting into it and going through every measure. It's like 23 pages, but you guys have picked all of these. I know you've done some of the hard requests too, but that's why the library is so great because of all the members choosing what's on there instead of me trying to pick it. And man, I want to play what they play. I don't want to play. Who's the piano player for Jeff Beck? Do you remember the name?
It'll come to me. I don't have it right off.
Okay, I'm terrible at it. Well,
Yeah,
why you think? Why you
he
think of it?
stood
I
up.
want to play what Roy Bittan does. I want to play what Billy Powell does. I don't want to play some watered down, right hand in the melody version that sounds like I'm in Kmart or something. I want
John
I want the
Homer.
real thing.
John Homer, piano player.
What is it?
John Homer or
John
Jan.
Homer. Okay. Good. Yeah, he's incredible on that. Some of the most you can't hear it in the recording unless you got headphones on, but his left hand, man, is doing some amazing stuff the whole time. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. But that took me forever. But I, instead of cutting corners and just saying, well, it's this chord, I want to give you exactly what's on the album because that's what I want to do. Even if I'm not a singer, a lot of people don't sing because they feel like I don't have a good voice. I said, you probably have a decent voice. Go ahead and try singing. But that's a lot more fun to me than playing a melody in the right hand. It's just my feeling.
You have a fantastic voice, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, love your voice. Good stuff.
So let's see what. So you appreciate the authentic versions, is that right?
Yeah, I prefer note to note. I'm a guitar player. I can listen, and 90% of guitar solos I can pick off within a few minutes, for songs. But yeah, I like how the piano was recorded versions. No, then you can mess around with it.
Yeah.
But, I think that's the best way to learn because those are the real piano players,
Yeah.
playing the stuff that they wrote and play. I want to play just like them. So.
I'm going to ask you, time is flying here when I'm having fun. I'm going to ask you a few questions here that I'm supposed to ask here at the end, if you wouldn't mind. It might be a little repetitive for you, but if you wouldn't mind, just answer them again.